though. You did personal challenges annually for about 10 years. Which challenge ended up being much easier than expected, and which one ended up being much harder than expected? Either or. Just be curious to know.
I still do stuff like this. I don't like make as big of a deal of it anymore. but I think just kind of throwing yourself into different situations to learn new things is, I think that's just a big part of life. So, yeah. Well, which ones were hard? One, I tried to meet a new person every day for the year. That was hard for me. I'm pretty introverted. I built some amazing relationships out of it. I started teaching this class at the local Boys and Girls Club with a friend, and like mentored the kids for, just talked to them a couple of weeks ago. They were all like, none of their families had gone to college before, and now they're all graduating college. It's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
But I'm super introverted. So I think that's probably been another silver lining of the whole distributed work thing for me, is having space to kind of think and kind of control my time and like not get interrupted by other people so much. But it's an interesting balance, being introverted, but also like being pretty sensitive and caring a lot about other people. I think that people kind of think that introverts are like, for like don't like other people or something. That's not true. I just get overwhelmed easily.
Yeah.
And then some of the ones, the interesting thing is they all went in weird directions, right? So one year I did this like year of running, and then it's like, I just did all kinds of different running. I did like sprints, I did long distance running, and then like my knees started hurting. So then I broadened out and did triathlons and training for this Ironman. But then I broke my arm biking. So that ended up not quite happening. So, I mean, they all kind of go in different directions. I learned Mandarin one year. You can't learn Mandarin in a year.
It's a challenging one.
I mean, maybe someone can. I cannot. We talked about my language deficiency earlier on. But I mean, that was partially, I like kind of throwing myself into things that are hard. And, like I said before, I mean, I've studied a lot of languages in my life. A little Spanish, a little French, a little Hebrew, a lot of Latin, a bunch of Greek. But it's actually hard for me. So I kind of like doing things that are hard for me. And obviously Mandarin is important because Priscilla's family is Chinese. So that's when the day Priscilla and I, after dating for almost 10 years, we decided we didn't want to have like a big wedding that a lot of people, we didn't want a lot of people asking us about it for a while. So we did it as a surprise wedding and basically didn't tell anyone. And then the morning of the wedding, we were kind of telling everyone. And I told Priscilla's mother in Mandarin, and I never knew before that if she understood anything I was saying. And I just told her, and a single tear went down her face, and I was like, okay, my Mandarin is at least good enough for that.
Wow.
Yeah, they're super interesting. A lot of them have a physical element, just because I tend to think like people focus so much on thought process, decision making, like how can you be as smart as possible, but I just think like energy level, and there hasn't been that much that's been written about like historical figures and energy level as opposed to how they thought. But I actually would be very fascinated about to kind of understand that. But I think just, learning how to foil surf and things like that. It's just, it's super humbling. These are like really hard skills. It takes like weeks before you can even like get
really
going.
Hard.
And I'm such a beginner, right? And it's like, it's just wild and it's so much fun. And, it's like you start off doing this like downwinding thing where, the awesome thing about the foil is like there's almost no friction compared to a surfboard, right? A surfboard, you need to like be in a big wave or else like you just stop. But a foil, you're just kind of standing on the board, but you're actually riding this little wing and it has no friction. So you can kind of or very little friction. So you can basically just ride it on open ocean swells. And it's this great workout. You just like can pump in between swells and, your heart rate gets up to like 160, but you can go for like a mile or more. And it's wild and it's a great workout. And you can't think about anything else while you were doing it because you will fall immediately. So learning new things is like, I think, a big part of what brings meaning and joy to life.